Hey there, everyone. Did you wake up to the jaw-dropping news that your stimulus check might be a lot bigger than you ever expected? You heard that right. President Trump's stimulus refund checks just received a massive overnight boost that could put thousands of extra dollars right in your pocket. But hold on, there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye. Who qualifies, and how can you ensure you don't miss out? Welcome back to the channel. If you've been scrolling through your social media feeds and noticed a surge of stimulus check news, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the dramatic changes that unfolded in the last 24 hours. I spent my morning sifting through official documents and policy memos, and what I uncovered is sure to surprise you. Just yesterday, most Americans were bracing for a modest payment based on earlier announcements. But then, out of nowhere, a midnight policy shift dramatically increased the potential payout for millions of households across the nation. So, why did this happen so suddenly? And more importantly, are you one of the lucky Americans who will benefit from this unexpected boost? The story kicked off late last night when President Trump made a surprise announcement from the White House. "We're boosting the stimulus checks because hardworking Americans deserve more relief," he declared in a brief address that even caught his own advisors off guard. This increase reportedly came after a thorough review of new economic data, revealing that inflation has hit American families harder than anyone anticipated. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. The boosted stimulus checks won't be automatically distributed to everyone who received prior payments. A new qualification system is now in place, leading to considerable confusion online as people encounter conflicting information about who exactly qualifies. Let's break it down. The base payment has been increased by approximately 40% above what was initially proposed. For a family that previously qualified for the full amount, this adjustment could mean an additional $2,400. And that's just the starting point. The real game changer is the introduction of what the administration is calling economic impact supplements. These are additional payments determined by several factors, and you need to pay close attention to them to ensure you don't leave any money on the table. Have you carefully examined your tax returns from last year? They are now a key factor in determining your supplemental amount. The income thresholds have been adjusted upward, meaning more middle-class families will qualify for the full amount than ever before. For instance, single filers earning up to approximately $95,000 and joint filers earning up to around $190,000 may now be eligible for at least partial payments, a significant increase from earlier proposals. But wait, there's more. The biggest boost applies to those who experienced income reductions between 2022 and 2023. Many are asking why this sudden change occurred. Economic advisors close to the administration suggest that recent inflation data played a major role, with consumer prices rising faster than anticipated in key categories like housing and food. The administration felt that additional relief was essential. However, some analysts believe that political calculations may also be influencing this decision, especially with midterm elections approaching next year. Now, you might be wondering when these enhanced payments will actually land in your bank account or mailbox. According to statements from the Treasury Secretary this morning, the first wave of direct deposits could begin as early as next week, with paper checks following about 10 days later. But here's the catch: the distribution schedule prioritizes certain groups. Understanding where you fall on that priority list could help you plan your finances more effectively. Those who have already filed their 2023 tax returns and have direct deposit information on file with the IRS will receive payments first. If you've recently moved or changed banks, it's crucial to update your information with the IRS immediately to avoid any delays. And here's another critical aspect that most news outlets aren't covering in detail: there's a special application process for the supplemental portion of the stimulus. If your financial situation has changed significantly since your last tax filing, like losing your job, experiencing reduced work hours, or incurring major medical expenses, you need to pay attention. The administration has created a dedicated portal for these cases, expected to go live within the next 48 hours. Additionally, If you've been tracking your eligible expenses during the pandemic like work-from-home costs, childcare expenses during school closures, or specific medical expenses related to COVID-19 that weren't covered by insurance, you might qualify for even more supplements under this expanded program. Financial experts are already debating the best ways for Americans to utilize these unexpectedly larger payments. Some recommend paying down high-interest debt, while others suggest building up emergency savings amid ongoing economic uncertainties. Your optimal strategy will depend on your personal financial circumstances, but having a plan before the funds arrive is always a smart move. Beyond personal finance, there's another significant angle to this story: the potential impact of these larger payments on the overall economy. Some economists express concerns about inflationary pressure from injecting extra money into an economy already facing rising prices. Others argue that directing relief to households most affected by inflation could help stabilize the broader economy by preventing a cascade of financial hardships. Small business owners are closely monitoring these developments, as previous rounds of stimulus payments led to noticeable increases in consumer spending. And let's not forget the long-term implications for the national debt. Administration supporters argue that providing immediate relief to struggling Americans should take precedence over long-term debt concerns during this uneven economic recovery. Critics, however, contend that these expanded payments will add substantially to already high deficit levels, a debate that reflects broader disagreements about fiscal priorities in American politics. There's also been a lot of chatter online comparing this stimulus program to those implemented in other countries. Interestingly, the United States appears to be moving toward a hybrid model that includes both universal payments and targeted supplements, an approach that several European countries adopted earlier during the pandemic with generally positive economic outcomes. Social media is buzzing with claims about who qualifies and the exact amounts people might receive, but many of these claims are wildly inaccurate. For instance, have you seen posts claiming that certain professions or age groups receive special bonuses? Most of these assertions are false. The official qualification criteria are primarily based on income, the number of dependents, and changes in financial circumstances, not on occupation or age group. And what about those receiving Social Security, disability, or other forms of government assistance? You might be worried that accepting this stimulus payment could impact your eligibility for those benefits. The reassuring news is that, consistent with previous stimulus rounds, these payments are not considered taxable income for determining eligibility for federal benefit programs. This means you can accept the payment without risking the loss of other essential benefits. As we wrap up, expect further clarifications from financial advisors and policymakers in the coming days as the administration works to resolve any remaining ambiguities and ensure that every eligible American receives the full relief they deserve. With enhanced oversight measures and improved communication channels now reportedly in place, this expanded stimulus initiative is setting the stage for a potentially transformative phase in economic policy, reflecting both the urgent needs of today and the evolving challenges of tomorrow.